Hello, everyone. Before we begin the So podcast, I would like to give a little bit of a spoiler alert. We will be talking about Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker from 45 minutes and 50 seconds to 1 hour, 1 minute, and 48 seconds. So please avoid that segment if you would like to avoid spoilers. I'll be putting the times in the description below, so please check that out. I hope you guys enjoy the podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the January edition of the So podcast. We are Blluist.
Welcome.
What's up, everybody? This is a monthly podcast where we talk about things that happen either on or off stream and just kind of give a rundown of what that month was like for us. We're content creators from Tokyo, Japan, where we've been doing this since the first month we ever started streaming. So this one's gonna be pretty interesting, I think, because usually we talk about the games that we played, because those usually are the highlights of, as naturally as is for a Twitch streamer, the most normal type of content, I guess. Constant content is video games, but I think we're gonna be talking about something a little bit more different this month, right, Blue?
Yeah. So we actually started something new at the beginning of the year where like, you know what? We usually don't do New Year's resolutions, but maybe we should start. So one of the things we decided to do this year was actually make a schedule. Like
Yeah,
not like, oh, we're gonna do this day, this not like full on like full week. We write down everything we do. Like, okay, midnight we get into bed. We wake up at this time, we go walk on it. Then we do this in the morning and then this is this. And we just basically plot out the whole day.
yeah. It started because we were in a conversation with somebody, and then um it really stuck with me that there's so many times during the day, even in the past, where I would have an idea or Blue has an idea, but it's like this really weird time where we know that we have to probably invest the next 5 hours or 6 hours into this thing that just pops into our head. Maybe it's like just like planning for something new or something like that. And then you realize like maybe it doesn't nothing really comes out of it. And then so you throw away that idea and then you go on to the next. And it's just like,
I mean, we're also both very bad at kind of we get very I think we're both procrastinators.
yes.
And not because like we don't want to do something, but we just have so many ideas in our head that we don't know where to start, so we end up not doing any of them.
Yeah, it's like
We're very scattered when it comes to creative ideas, and I think we just there's so much we want to do that we just never get to any of them.
yeah,
Basically, so we thought, this would be a good way to finally like get stuff done.
I think it was I was a little worried at first because there were so many things that we were tackling at the same time. Um on stream, or like things that we don't talk about yet and stuff like that, but there's so many things we needed to organize it somehow, or else we weren't going to get anything done. And it was just a moment of like, okay, let's just set it up. And if we're going to do that, why don't we just set up other, just like our sleep schedule, when we should sleep, when we should wake up, like even down to the point of like, we're going to walk Anu, our dog, when on this day, this time, and then that's how we start the day off. We always have to walk the dog together on this time, whereas before it would just be like, all right, I'm gonna go for a walk, or Blue would be like, I'm gonna take on it for a walk or something like that,
Yeah, it would just be
at a
kind of
super random
scattered
time.
throughout the day.
Or like housework, like
Yeah.
we're gonna do housework on this day, because it would be like, oh, we're getting the trash can's full, and then that would be the timing to clean the trash can, but sometimes we wouldn't need to do that for a while, but now we have to do that and then clean the house for the segmented time. It's like by hour. It'd be like from 10 to 12 on our off day, we do this. And then from there, and then you stop, and then you have to do the next thing. And
It also helps because I'm someone who's very finicky about I'm not like spontaneous things kind of stress me out. So I get stressed out when, for example, like Gray has a great idea, but he thinks of it right then and he wants to do it as soon as possible. But I'm not in that mindset to do it, and I don't want to do it right now. But I know it is a great idea, and I do want to do it. But and I know that if we don't, because back then we didn't have a schedule, so I knew if we don't do it then we're probably not gonna get to it. So we need to do it now, and I knew that. But I would get like really stressed out every single time that would happen, or like something comes up, like oh no, oh shit, we forgot to do this. We need to go do this, and I'd be freaking out because it's like oh no, I didn't plan to do this today,
Yeah.
and it would just be like this sudden like like not pressure, but like this anxiety, anxious feeling of like oh no, we have to do this like right now, even though we weren't. We were maybe I was in the middle of something, but we have to do this because yeah, we need to get it done, kind of thing. So.
It's pretty crazy because with this, and we'll get to it a little later, because this actually helped me think of more ideas, which is really weird. Which is a really weird way to think about it because we're limiting, you know, scheduled time, very strict scheduled time for certain things. But there's got to be time for, and one of the strict ones is free time.
Hmm.
And we have a point, and sometimes if we're working on something, we agree beforehand that this might kind of go into free time, but we're both very aware of that before it's already slipping into that time zone. Like it's my wallpaper. The schedule is my like PC wallpaper, just so I know what's up. Um, it's in,
Excuse me.
it's like pinned in our Discord, like the personal Discord that Blue and I share, and like my personal one that I use for myself, just for like throw in images and stuff like that. So it's just there as a reminder. I think we've been a lot more motivated. It's been about 2 weeks since we started the schedule. Um, there's it feels like every moment is not being wasted, and all I used to hate free time. It was this ambiguous time of like, what am I gonna do? I used to feel guilty when I was just playing games or when I was just doing something that had nothing to do with either work or uh like stream related stuff. Um, I always felt guilty, and I always feel like if there was a Sunday, which is our off day, if we spent the whole day gaming or something like that, we wasted the day, and I would feel like garbage at the end of the day. And after doing this, there's no days where everything is just free. Everything is kind of like mapped out. And one of the reasons why we really had to do this and it was like the perfect timing was because I had this big kind of freelance project tackling along with another project with streaming with other stuff and same with Blue.
Hmm.
So we had to
We have to plan
it was like a
everything.
wake up call.
Yeah.
We finished the stream and we felt like crap. And we were like, damn, because like I realized I was thinking about all this other stuff while streaming, and that's like the worst thing. And so right after stream, I had to sit down and be like, we got to figure this out because I'm not enjoying this. There's too much going on in my head. I can't focus on what we're doing right now. So let's just map it out. Let's bang this out. Let's just figure out a schedule. If it doesn't work, we can adjust, but we need to organize or else like I'm not gonna be able to get anything done.
Hmm.
And we did. And it's like there's like these little like ambiguous spots that we have within our schedule that can be put in to like we can like replace it with other things. So it's flexible in that sense, but that slot has to have it can't be like, okay, let's just make this free time because or let's just think of this. Like let's just not do it and ignore it. Or even if that happens to be free time, when the next slot comes in, we have to go on to the next thing. Even if it is free time. Even if the next thing is free time, we have to stop everything we're doing and just forget everything and just focus. And it was kind of weird because like it felt really weird for like the first couple days because I didn't know what to do with myself, but I didn't feel guilty at all.
Yeah.
Because I knew tomorrow I'm going to work on this. Tomorrow I'm going to work. Like everything was organized in my head when I probably had like 2 to 3 times more things that I would have had to do than before. Like before I was thinking like, oh my God, I had so many of these like spontaneous ideas. What do we do with it? No, it's like I have more now because it's organized and I can just slot it in. How's and we talked about it a little bit like together, Blue, but like how's it working for you? Because now we have a strict wake up schedule, even if it's an off day or on day.
That's probably the hardest for me. I like sleeping. And I mean, okay, to put the sleeping aside, or I like sleeping aside, I have a pretty hard time falling asleep at night. So depending on the day, it is harder. Like there's been a few days where I just don't get much sleep because I can't fall asleep till later. But I think the more I get used to the schedule, the more I'll start feeling tired earlier. Because I think my body's still thinking like, oh no, you don't get tired till like 2, 3 a.m. So I just think like the more I get my body to like get used to this schedule, the more I'll start getting sleepy earlier.
And
So
we pushed back the time
mhm,
that we get into bed.
yeah,
So we used to probably go to sleep at like
2
like
a.m.
2 a.m. would be the time we're like, all right, it's 2, let's get in bed. Now it's strictly 12. We
Yeah.
have to be, no, we have to stop whatever we're doing, and we always have free time up until that.
Mhm.
So we made
But
it
even then,
so
it's like an hour because we
yeah,
still have to get ready to go to bed. So usually, like it's an hour to wind down after stream, then another hour to do what you need to do before bed.
yeah, and then we
So
have to get into bed no matter what. And I'm
yeah,
very proud that it's, like if we start playing a game or something, which is something that totally happens, where we like, you know what, let's just wind down, let's play a video game together, and then it would be like, nope, we have to get to bed now, and we're like,
yeah,
what? We just started, because
yeah.
usually we would play
Because
for
an
another two
hour is
hours.
not very long.
Yeah, so
So
it's, so we are getting into bed earlier, but still, and I'm waking up earlier, and so is Blue, and we stream when Blue does solo streams. One of the streams during the week too. For me, we stream in the morning. We stream 10 a.m. in the morning, and we used to just wake up at like a random time, and we would just be like groggy and shitty before going into the stream. But I think now I always wake up at 8 now, and I know that's like not like super early for a lot of people, but that's enough time for me. Blue wakes up at 9, and hopefully you were saying you wanted to like, if it's possible to wake up at 8, just so you have
yeah.
more time before, because you have more of the morning streams than I do.
Hmm.
So
But I mean, of course, that depends on how I get used to the 9 o'clock one. So we'll see. Because I think between the two of us, I'm someone who probably needs more sleep. Just from how it has been for the past 5 years. I know some people naturally need more and need less. So hopefully I can match Gray in the sleeping schedule wise, but we will see how that works.
I think we need the same amount. The amount of sleep is the same. It's just that I fall asleep a lot faster than you, so that I'm getting more sleep.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a little bit asking too much if it was like, all right, Blue, you have to go to bed at 11, and then I can stay up. Like, I'm not going to do anything for an hour. Like, I
Right.
would rather
Yeah.
go to
Yeah.
bed at the same time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you want to crank it back even more, it's just less free time that we can spend. And I think it's like, we can consider that because, you know, if, because having insomnia is definitely something that's affecting your health too. So that's something we can probably kind of like adjust in the future.
Yeah. I mean, we just started this schedule, so we'll try it for a couple months and then we'll adjust as necessary.
Hmm.
But at the same time, like I do want to try and keep our schedule for now because we do um I have a lot of hobbies and I do want to keep being able to do them because that's like the only time I can actually like do anything is during free time. Like if I want to read a book, I want to be able to read some before bed because as of now, I think a lot of times like if we don't have time before bed, then I have to wait till Thursday or I have to wait till Sunday to read anything or work on like crafts and stuff like that. So it would be nice if I can keep that like hour after stream to um work on other things, but we'll see. Yeah, I think it's more like trial and error and then go from there.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, best case would be like maybe if I can wake up even earlier, I can do those things in the morning. But yeah, it just really depends on how it goes in the next couple months, I think.
Yeah. And I think for our off stream days, the days that are it's for us in Japan time, it's Thursdays and Sundays as our off stream day. We have a huge chunk of free time for the second half of the day, and then in front is kind of like this free type of. We're filming this during that time right now,
Yeah.
where if we need to film something or if we need to edit something, or if we want to just sit down and watch a movie and have some kind of input, creative input outside of, the things that we normally, um, kind of indulge ourselves with. So like if not with streaming, but like watch a movie, we have or something that helps us creatively input. It's really ambiguous, but in this time, we can do like these podcasts, these monthly podcasts, or this new idea that we started having, which is the next topic that I want to get into, and it's the new YouTube videos that we've been making. And I'm like, so I love doing it. It's the first time that I actually like doing something for YouTube.
Yeah.
Usually it's we have this very talented editor, very talented, so much love, and like he does these amazing edits for us. And it's always like, he makes these edits and then we put him up, and it's just kind of like it was just a place for us to put our content up there. And it was just like just stream edits and stuff like that. And it's great because it's smaller. We go through like these like we want this part or we want it a little bit shorter with these effects and whatnot, and does a really cool job. But I never really felt creative input from our side.
Yeah.
It was already something that was done. All the creativity and all the fun and all of our performance was already on stream, and then it was just like you take what we did, and then no more flair, no more spices after that, and it's off to somebody else, and then they put their flair on it. We
Yeah.
loved it,
We never
and
really
then
did anything for YouTube.
yeah, and if you've been listening to this podcast for, you know, YouTube is such a key word for us for years. Every year at the end of the one of those like end of the year podcasts that we do, like the year in review, what do we want to do next year? It's always we gotta figure out YouTube somehow. And we've tried a lot like shorts and stuff like that, and then we found a community member that was better at making shorts
Mhm.
than we were. So we gave him like the editor permission on YouTube, and he can just post whenever he wants. And so we just thought that's better than us going back and like sitting and watching our content. And then we couldn't watching our content is no problem, but all these like edited effects and all this stuff is just not our forte, and I just don't have time to learn all that stuff. And it wasn't something that I personally was interested in spending my time learning.
Mhm.
It just didn't seem like something that I wanted to do. Um, at the end of the day, I was watching a lot of YouTube videos where it's just a bunch of hard cuts, or it's like podcasts or stuff like that. So I was thinking like, what do we do? What do we do? And I realized like if you look on our YouTube channel, if you're watching the video version of this, you're watching it on our YouTube, it's all podcasts. Like we haven't uploaded anything here except some edits and these podcasts. And I thought that's what we like doing. And when you put VODs, because we have a VODs channel, a stream archive channel where you can check out the VODs because Twitch doesn't let us keep them forever. So we just
Yeah.
put them on YouTube. It's so static. Am I using that word right? Static means like still, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very static content. As soon as the live element is gone, it's very static. And I thought, no matter how good an edit is, and this is like, I think it doesn't matter what the size is. So like the view count doesn't matter when subtract like how many views it gets. I don't think that dictates how good the content is. But I think either way, you're taking something that was live if you're a streamer, and then you put it out as static content. And there was something and then of course if you put a little bit of edits in there, it becomes a little bit more lively. But at the end of the day, it's something that's already happened. There's nothing live about that.
I mean, there's people who don't watch VODs
Right.
for a particular
Yeah.
reason.
We just asked that on stream, and people are like, "Yeah, I never." Some people are like,
Yeah.
"I never watch VODs."
So we wanted a way where it'd be fun for people to watch previous, like our old streams without having to sift through so many of our old VODs and kind of experience what I guess we went through when we were streaming those. And so, yeah, you thought of a great idea of adding commentary
And
to old
it's like
like clips, I guess, basically.
it's almost like, because reaction content is so big, like you just react to stuff, but I did use the word reacting to ourselves almost as a way just so we can, like in the thumbnail, just so it makes more sense to people, like what is this kind of thing.
I mean, it's the Bluest director's cut.
Yeah, or
That's what it is.
it's more like I have all these DVDs and like my favorite videos, my favorite content on that is like you watch the content once, like a live show DVD, and then it would be the crew or the band, just like you can tell it's just one mic. It's picking up everything. Like it's just one mic. Guys have food. They got drinks. You can hear people walking around and shit. And the live video is playing on a lower volume, and they just talk about it. And they just talk about what it was like playing that show. Like he'd be like, "Oh yeah, there was this one point where I was like so drunk, and I don't remember singing this part. Oh, that guy with that white shirt in the crowd. I remember I kept seeing him every single time that guy stage dove. Like I was trying to see like all these things that don't come out in the normal thing. And it was also it's perfect for a stream. I thought it was perfect for us because we have new people coming in every day, and there's so many like streams where we're like, that was our best stream. Like we really really like this stream and we want to share it, but you say watch the VOD, and the VOD's what, 20
It's
hours?
so long.
Like it's just not. And again, it's a static 20 hours. No matter how much you twist it, it's static video. There's nothing live about it. And then as an idea, I said, why don't we just take this and, you know, we can just sit down, and then because we were fitting it in the schedule, give it a set time, and we said, if this takes too long, let's just not do it, or we can do it when we have more time. So we sat down, got the VOD up. It was like the first one was It Takes Two, maybe like
Mhm.
10 hours in total. It was a good test run. One of the best games that we played. Easy, co-op content. We love it. I was interested to watch it again.
Yeah.
We watched it.
It was so fun.
1 hour. It took us 1 hour to just sift through the best because we know what
Yeah,
we
we
want to show.
remember which parts we want to comment on.
I was like, yeah, so we can just skip all 5 hours of this. That's fine. There might be some fun things, but that's not the point. The
Mhm.
point is like the things that we want to show, and we don't have to think about. It's interesting because I don't have to think about, okay, start from here and here, because I don't have to think about the attention span of somebody that's watching it for the first time. Because we're talking over it, the clip needs to be longer.
Mhm.
So I'm just like, just keep like from here to here.
Yeah.
And
It
then,
can be a little bit vague
yeah. And
about length. So, but I think it was the next video we did was harder
Shadow
because
Corridor.
Shadow
Yeah.
Corridor was how long? The whole video?
So it's 3 VODs,
Yeah.
but it was 2 days
Yeah.
because it was 10 hours and 10 hours, 20 hours in total. That one was if you watch the video, I say it right off the bat, it's one of the most memorable streams I've ever had.
But the thing about that game is what's different, what's harder than like taking It Takes Two for me was like with It Takes Two, you can see like, oh, this is that one stage. Oh, this is that one stage. With Shadow Corridor, it's so many, like you have to retry stages a lot. Where it was hard to figure out, like, oh wait, was this the part where we did this, or was this the part where we did this, or it's like, wait, what happens here? Was it here or was it earlier? Like, it's because a lot of the I guess stages look very similar, and that's the point because it's supposed to be kind of like a maze. It was really hard to figure out, like, because I had a vague like memories of like, oh, I want that one scene, but to try to find it was very difficult
Yeah.
because a lot of the stages look similar.
Yeah.
So
And but that took, I think, and then I timed it for us to figure out all the parts that, not the actual edit, but the parts that we wanted to edit. It took us 2 hours
yeah.
for 20 hours of content. And it was just like, it's so fast because, yeah, you had trouble, but it doesn't matter as much because the thing that's on the screen just needs to have that content, like that moment.
Yeah, yeah.
But the before and after, we can just chunk it up and put together because we're gonna be
Mhm.
talking over it, right? And once we did that, and the edits are hella rough, right?
Yeah.
Because it's me. I'm just cutting We just know
Shortcuts.
we just get potato chips. We get, if get a beer, and then we just sit here, have a watch party, sift through stuff in 1.25 speed, and then we're just eating, watching our stuff, and we're like, my God, we're funny. Or like we like, because we sincerely enjoy our own content. And so we love watching ourselves. As narcissistic as that is,
I think we're funny.
I think I have no problem watching ourselves. And then so I'm just watching, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's an idiot. Gray's an idiot. And then like, it took us 2 hours to, and then we just note down like this part from here to here, edit a little topic, put that in, just super rough cut. And then we take the commentary, right? And then we just go in, and then we talk about stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then I finished it. I finished the video, and I was like, if this isn't funny, whatever. And like, we tried, it wasn't what I imagined. And then I watched it, and I was like, Blue, come here. Listen to this. Like, come watch this. And I realized that it was like live. It was weird. It's edited content that's not live, but it's something. It wasn't static anymore to me.
Yeah.
And I know this is just to me, or me and Blue. And that's why it's so fun doing it. We were able to like pump life into something that was filmed, that has been static for 2 years. And we were able to like relive it, enjoy ourselves while doing it. And it was the first time that that we came up with something for YouTube that I didn't care if people watched it or not.
Yeah.
I just wanted it for my own sake and for Blluist's sake to have that
For our own
there.
enjoyment. Yeah.
Yeah, and if other people enjoy it,
that's great.
That's awesome. And yeah, we do want views and stuff like that. That would be great. Make the YouTube bigger, whatever. But like, when you take one step aside, like we were able to like, from my little idea and Blue's execution and my execution, we were able to make something that was. We love taking podcasts. We love talking, right? We're streamers. We talk all the time, right? We were able to put that live content essence into something that was completely static, that in the way that it wasn't just for views. Like, no one knows Shadow Corridor. Like, Shadow Corridor is a great game. We also crowdfunded the second one. That's how much we it.
You love mentioning that. Too.
Yeah. No, because because when I say it's not when I don't want to put the game down by saying like it's not like, I don't see people playing it as much.
It's not a very like well-known game.
Yeah, and I know, and but it's a really, really good game.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying like I don't want to like put the game down in any way.
And we like it so much that we crowdfunded it.
My point is if we were going to like just go for clout or whatever, we would pick a game that's more recent or something like that,
Right.
And there might be times like that. It's fine because we enjoy the games that we play. But to go for like Shadow Corridor, it was a personal favorite of mine. And then, one of Blue's favorites too. And it was just, I don't know. It felt like the first time ever that I didn't feel pressured, or it felt like something I could just keep doing. As long as we stream, I feel like there's so much stuff, and it's such a good way to share stuff that we want people to know us for, or like it was moments that we were proud of in a whole new way, and it's not boring, and it's not like, because if I were to do these edits, it would just be hard cuts, right? And it's getting hard cuts of static content is still static.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. And so
for this one, it doesn't really matter. So that's why it works out.
I've kind of, in that way, I was like, this is what we should be doing as live streamers. That's what we do best, us personally. And we have other people helping us do the YouTube, like the edits and stuff like that. But what could we do to put that Blluist flair into it? And it was,
director's cuts.
It was really interesting, and I enjoy doing them a lot. It's just, and it's not as time consuming with this new schedule. It's not, we're not spending 10 hours on something that we're not used to, and we're able to like allocate all this time. We're able to like, I think, and we would just time like how long will it take to do this, and it'll just keep getting better and better and better. And even if the audio quality is a little like or like because a lot of this content is before we got like better encoding on Twitch,
Yeah, so the quality is really bad
I think
for
it's
some of them, but
like to me it's like it's really I think it's fine.
I mean, it
It's
shows
like
how much we've grown too, and I do like that
yeah
because I mean, we look very different on those streams as well.
yeah
Like you look like Asian Jesus, and
Asian
I
Jesus, yeah.
look like a princess with my princess like they call it the princess haircut, where it's like this part's a little long
Yeah.
with the straight bangs. Yeah,
And
so
I think if we do it right and we keep doing it, hopefully the goal there is for people to watch the VOD. Go like,
hmm
what happened in between? That's why the VOD there's a VOD channel where you can just click it and it's a playlist. You can watch all the VODs. Yeah, they're long, but then it's a little bit in the right direction to make static content into
I
breathe a
mean,
little life into it.
I hope that these are almost like trailers for our VODs too, because if you like the commentary of like, of course, because they're a lot shorter. So if you watch that and be like, you know what, I'm interested in the Shadow
Yeah.
Corridor stream, and then you can actually watch the full VOD if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty daunting when you see that playlist and it says 10 hours and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I gotta watch 10 hours of this. So with these VODs, I think it's almost like a trailer for our old content as well. So
Yeah. And I'm sure like it's nothing new. It's nothing like that's like groundbreaking or anything like that. But I, to me, it was because I just don't. It was just a moment where I was on the train to work and I was like, huh, we do things live. And I was looking at our YouTube channel, a lot of podcasts and some edits, put them together. What would happen? Would it be even interesting? And then so I started noting down what we need. And then it was like, we need to edit the video. We need to like look through our video. And then when I saw that we need to look through our video, I was like, that is daunting. But when we gave it a test run, 2 hours for 20 hours of content. It's because we know exactly the moments that we want to share. So it was like, it's actually not that bad. And then we recorded it, not bad either. Like it was super fun.
yeah.
And it just seemed like, and also another thing that we've been always like kind of like talking about for a while now actually is Patreon. And we were like, we want something that's like reoccurring on Patreon, something that would make people want to go on the Patreon rather than, we have a lot of stuff on there, but a lot of people don't know that, right? And it's like because there's nothing that's constantly being updated on there except for like a Q&A podcast, but like we have like
We wanted
vlogs, we have
something
like
that was more, I guess, constant because I think yeah we do have vlogs and whatnot and little things here and there, but it's not something that's constantly updated. So we wanted something for Patreon that was something that people can look forward to on a monthly basis instead of like, oh, I wonder when they're gonna post the next one. It's okay, they're gonna put next one's coming out soon. I can look forward to this kind of
yeah,
thing.
and the Patreon one is like twice as long.
hmm
Like for Shadow Corridor, it's 16 minutes long. Yeah, it's long for a YouTube video, but um we took out if you're listening to this and you're on the Patreon, but we took out two stages or one full stage worth of commentary of just because we wanted to shorten it because the video was 30 minutes. Plus, there's a little bit at the end where we talk about like it's an after talk where we just kind of like chat about like what it was like kind of thing. So in total, it's like 30 something minutes, and that's what we film first.
hmm
That's the full thing, obviously, and then we cut that for YouTube, or we cut that and then put up for YouTube. So I was like, you know, we're getting answers here that make sense to us. If everybody hates it, it's unfortunate. Like everyone's like, this is uninteresting. Like this is, and that might be the case, but at least I like it. Like
Yeah,
like, and that's what
and
that's
I think
what.
that's the most important when it comes to like continuing stuff, like continuing like content creation is all about how much you like it and how much you can keep doing it. Because a one time video usually doesn't go anywhere.
You know,
So it depends on how long you can keep it up.
I'm like,
Same thing with
yeah,
streaming too.
I
So
haven't been this excited about putting up edited content in a while, and I was like, all we gotta do is do shit live. Just do stuff live and put it on top of it, and it adds so much life to it, and it's so fun. And so, like, it's always like, even with like TikTok or like shorts, um, and YouTube in general, there was always like an end to it. I knew that it was gonna be like something that we do a couple times and then we get tired of it or something
Mhm.
like that. And but this one's like, I can do all we got to do is decide which VOD, like which stream do you want to do, and then it's like, yeah, we've done a lot of those. We've done a lot of those. We have done a lot of streams, and we'll keep doing streams. So, and it makes us more motivated to make each stream worthy of something like that. You know, like it's
I mean, I've
you know,
finally gotten to a place where it's like I'm so pissed about our SSD issue because we lost so many VODs. And now I'm at a point where it's like, "Ah, I wish I had those so we can commentate over those." Because
yeah,
we're missing a lot of VODs on the archive channel. We actually don't have that much.
yeah,
Even though we've been streaming for almost 5 years,
yeah.
like, we don't have much, unfortunately.
It's true, and
So,
so it might be time like that we play some of those again, that ones that we haven't played in ages and kind of like
mhm.
forgot about it. Like I think it would be
'Cause you know how great it would have been if I mean, of course, there's no way we could kept those archives because we were affiliate and just started. And we weren't even affiliate. We just started streaming, but if we had the VODs to the first time we played Bloodborne, oh my god,
oh yeah, we have
that
some
would have been
clips of
so
that, but yeah.
fun. Yeah,
I mean, we
that would have
do
been fun.
we do have the VOD of us playing Bloodborne beginning to
We
end
do have yes,
in one
I do wanna
stream.
do one of the 24-hour ones, but I'm just saying the first time we ever played, that would have been so fun
Yeah.
to see what we were like back then.
Yeah. It makes me think like we talk about it on these podcasts because we have a podcast. We recorded podcasts from the first month we ever started streaming. So there's us talking about it.
Mhm.
So there's commentary in that sense, but we don't have actual like video to go
Yeah.
with it because we started doing video podcasts way later. So that would be, yeah. It makes me regret all those.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, like it definitely makes it's this month was me and you trying to figure out how to go on just because things got really intense. It was gonna get really intense. And that's separate from our daily streams. Like things just got really, really busy,
Yeah.
and we needed to figure out a way to organize ourselves, and that
I was
actually,
getting very overwhelmed too, so
and it's it's spawned such great ideas, and I think it's a good trajectory that we're going on. I think so.
I
It's
think so too.
very positive because wintertime's always kind of a down time for us, but it's been extremely productive and extremely good. So that's I'm really, really happy and excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. All right. So now, so that was like our month. The thing that's pretty much that
I
happened
mean, that's
during
the
our month.
biggest thing. That's the
Yeah.
biggest change we've had this month. So,
And so, um, hopefully let you guys know what happens in the next one. But for now, let's get to the sub questions. So for these podcasts, the second half of the podcast, we take questions from Twitch subs and we answer them if they're answerable. Some of them are not sometimes, but let's see what people have to say. Is Kari the first one, I believe?
yes.
Okay. So Kari asks, with the gaming trends changing every couple of years, what game types or genres you are sad to never see again? Turn-based
I am
RPGs. I
Can
don't
you not
what?
cut in when I was about to say the same exact thing?
Oh,
Can you
were you
not take my answer,
gonna was it
cheater?
was I take it? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No. No, no. I mean, of course, yeah, yeah, turn-based RPGs is probably my biggest thing because I think as of now, it's probably only Pokemon that really keeps turn-based now. Because Final Fantasy is going into action-based.
Yeah,
I guess
games like
I mean, Fire Emblem is turn-based as well, but it's not like the Pokemon or like the Dragon Quest where it's like you or like the old Final Fantasies where you take actually like strategize, like, okay, they're probably gonna do this. I need to do this with this person, and we need to buff this and we need to debuff them. Like we don't really have those much anymore. So I am a little sad that that's kind of starting to disappear. And my other big thing is co-op campaign.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You don't see those anymore. Like, it's all online, or it's one of those, it's like, you drop in for a mission and then you drop out.
One of
Like,
the
I really
yeah,
wish
yeah.
they brought back that, like, couch co-op, like, you hand the other controller to your friend or your sibling, and you could play the whole game start to end with 2 characters. And I really want like, somebody to bring that back.
I mean, that's why It Takes Two was so good
Yeah,
because it
exactly.
was it was that experience, exactly that experience, like
Mhm.
that sweet spot, but better. And every single time we try to find like an RPG or something together that we play together, the first thing that we look for is, does progression carry, or is it only for one person?
Yeah.
And the other person's just kind of there to support. And once the world's gone, or they're out of their server or world, do they just go back to nothing, kind of thing? So it's really hard to find that. You're absolutely right. So I
Or
agree with
like
you.
or in a lot of cases, it's like they have to be further in order to help you out kinda thing.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
very
yeah.
difficult to progress together at the same time. So at the end of the day, it's not really co-op.
Mm.
It's more like you have to play separately first, and then we can help each other out later, but then it's like, what's the point then? So I really wish co-op campaign was a bigger thing.
Yeah, especially for us, obviously, because we're a couple
Yeah.
and like we play games together.
Mhm.
But
I mean,
um,
that's why I was so excited with, like, Pokemon, like Scarlet Violet, where you can just hop in and adventure together.
yeah,
But then, of course, when you find out that, oh, no, the battles are still single player, it's like, I wish they could enable dual battles somehow so we can progress together, but
yeah, but it would make sense why, because
yeah,
then it would completely change the whole like, well, difficulty of the
of
game,
course, yeah.
and
So it makes sense, but you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
just it gets a little sad. Or like Elden Ring was not completely co-op. It's like you can help each other. You can summon someone who's already beaten the boss, right?
that's right. Yeah.
And that's it. So you couldn't really adventure together either.
Mm-hmm. And there are
So
there are mods that work great
mhm,
for that, but they're mods, right? So
yeah,
it's not in the game. So, and with like turn-based RPGs, there's gonna be like Octopath Traveler, right?
mhm.
That's still turn-based. Square Enix putting out, these still like turn-based, but it's definitely going down, I think. And I just like, I'm just a sucker for those kind of games, I guess. What game cancellation, game announced but never released, made you the most disappointed? Can
Mm,
I'll be honest, I don't really keep up too much with game news, so I don't know. What?
that's Star Wars. Which one was it? Qatar?
Oh, Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah,
The
it got canceled. The
the
remake?
remake?
Yeah, it's like on hiatus or something. And I was really looking forward to that because I never played the original.
Mm.
So
Oh,
when I
wow.
heard that they're gonna make the remake, I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna fucking stream that." But then I also heard that it got canceled. So,
Mm. I guess I do have one. PT. I
oh yeah,
never got to play the demo. I've watched a lot of people play it, but I would love to play and stream PT, and
the actual game.
yes, and then never be able to sleep ever again after that. I would love to do that. I think that would be a very,
I mean, we
very
just
fun
have to wait for
experience.
Kojima Productions to make horror games.
Yeah, P tour.
Etor, what?
All right, thank you so much for that question, man. Nine asks, you mentioned before that you already finished Endwalker. I have a couple questions. So this is a Final Fantasy 14 question, but not sure if someone else has asked this or if you talked about it in past streams. Okay, first question is, what are your thoughts and opinions about the story in general? Endwalker. So we haven't kept up with the new update or anything like that, but we
We've
are,
played up till 6.1.
yeah. So like we're farming. The last thing that we're doing is like we're farming,
Yeah,
and
we discovered the island where you can like go get sheep and stuff.
and we are
Yeah,
so we are done with the main story. The story is fantastic. I think Endwalker was
I loved it. I want to marry Emmett Selk. That's it.
you don't realize how much of, like, when you're going into the story, right? And you start like figuring kind of like, oh, this is coming to an end. There's moments that really signal to that. Like even in the beginning, because it's a long expansion, and then you're like, how the heck are they gonna like bring all this together and make sense? There's so much stuff there's like what 5 expansions worth of stuff that they have to just like
They need to close all the loops.
yeah, and I was like, this is insane. And they're still adding characters. And I was just like, I was really surprised, but how they did it. I just loved the whole how you get to, oh, by the way, if you haven't played, this is like major spoilers. So
I hope you pause or you skip until the next part.
so I'm gonna raise my hand right now for anybody okay, for audio listeners, I'm raising my hand right now, and I'm gonna say spoilers, and then once I put down my hand, we're done with that for visual people. And um, how the hell am I gonna do this on audio? Actually,
You can't.
I can't. But anyways, okay, so I'll just won't talk about too much in depth. But it was good. I can't believe they did it. They pulled it off perfectly. Love the worlds that we got into. Love the new people that we got to meet. And I think,
I want to marry MSL.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was very, very happy with it.
Yeah.
There's a part in Garlemald where Xenos took control of your character's body. No, that was a straight up spoiler, but okay. You know what? This is our podcast. We'll put a disclaimer at the beginning saying that there are 14
Endwalker spoilers.
yeah, from here to here in the timeline. So that's fine. What were your thoughts when you were going through that part? When you took so we played Endwalker maybe like how long ago was that? It's like 4 or 5 months ago.
6 months ago, I think.
6 months ago.
Yeah.
So we are a little bit hazy with all the memories here. When Xenos took control of your character's body.
I mean, that part was weirdly hard. I remember I had to redo it like 2-3 times.
Which part was this?
It's like when you're in that suit of armor.
When you're in that suit of armor.
Yeah.
And you play as him?
No, you play as like some random like NPC character because he took over your body. So after like Anima comes out.
Oh, when you're trying to escape the
Yeah, Anima comes out and then like your soul gets like put into some like suit of armor and you're just like stumbling through with a little sword.
That's the part I got lost.
Yeah, that part was so hard.
I got lost and then that part was but you're more than the gameplay, I'm assuming like what the like story-wise, I guess what is more the question here. Gameplay-wise, it was difficult like to get out of that part. And
I mean, okay, my thing is like Xenos had all this time. He took over a body, right? He could have done anything and he didn't do shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like he didn't do any, he just approached our party, said a few words, and then like they found out. Like he could have done so much more.
I think
So
the
what
whole
was the
thing
point?
about him is that he talks about it in the end, right?
Yeah.
This kind
but
of
still.
This kind of goes to the next question about the dialogue part. Where what were your thoughts when what was your answer in the final dialogue option? Where it's like the Warrior of Light, he's the kind of guy that only wants to just rule things. Like he just wants to fight, and that's how he fills his void.
Yeah.
And he questions to you like, dude, you're the same. You do all these raids, like you're getting yourself into all this stuff. Like, isn't that what the warrior? Whether I'm the warrior of darkness or light, it doesn't matter. That's what we're here to do, right? And because one of the options is yes, like it's agreeing with him, is saying that that's what I've been doing. It's a little bit meta because like as a game player, you just want more content to play, and you're going to be progressing the story. But the warrior of light is just getting himself into all this stuff, and maybe that is the battles and all this destruction and all this like, to save people. We've killed a lot, and it's all of that is what fills the void. And it's like what I'm doing, Xenos, like what Xenos is doing, and what you're doing, main character, Warrior of Light, same thing, right? Like isn't that what this whole thing is about, kind of thing? And I think it makes it seem like it's two different roads, but he's trying to say like we've been doing the same thing. Actions speak louder than words, dude, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so with that body thing, I think he's not there to like. If he started doing stuff and destroying stuff, it wouldn't be him. Like I think
he just wanted to experience what it was like to be us.
It's a pride thing. I think, yeah, also that too. Like I think, and I could just be a little bit hazy with like the lore and stuff, but I think it just seems like it's just knowing Xenos for all this time. He just does that, and then but when things matter, he wants to do it as Xenos,
I
too.
mean, not gonna lie though, while I was playing Endwalker, all I wanted was Xenos to just go away. So it was like, wait, you're back again?
He comes
Like,
out at
you
a really
don't
weird
matter
time.
anymore, is
Yeah,
all I kept thinking. Like, can we move on? Like, can this guy just like go, I
he's
don't
like
know, go somewhere else?
the thing about him
Yeah.
is that the whole thing about Endwalker is like not just him, but there's so many times. And when I said that they're hinting at the end of everything, what I meant specifically is there's so many moments where people ask you, "How was your journey?"
Yeah.
And they say, "Was it fulfilling?"
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And those are the moments where you're like, okay, this is like they're trying to get to the end of this, and he's kind of the other answer to what this journey was all about. He took a where he just wanted to rule and destroy, and that's how that was the way to fulfill himself. And the
Yeah.
whole thing is, was it fulfilling? And that was Xenos is the antithese of, like he seems like the enemy, but he's the same. We're all the same, and I think that's what I think that's what Xenos is supposed to be. Is this other part of you? Do you agree? I don't. Of course, I'm like that scene when you're just like beating the shit out of him is great. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. It was
like,
great to finally be able to punch him. But
he's no different is the whole thing.
yeah.
Xenos is no different than everybody else.
Yeah.
And so, because we get in a game player sense, we get locked into dialogue. You can't turn into Xenos.
Hmm.
Even if you have like the worst answer in every single like option, the story still progresses in the same story. So you kind of end in the same way. Like they'll even if you say like you're an idiot, they won't be like, all right, let's go against each other. They'll be like, ha ha, ha, and then they'll laugh it off. But this main story is still the same, right? And so you can't go a different way than that. But Xenos is the other story. He's the other story, but he's just as much an adventure as you are. And I think in that moment, when you get into that area and it's just you and him, that's what he's trying to say. I think.
Yeah. No,
Like
I agree. I
that.
think he's just trying to prove to us that he's no different than we are,
Yeah. That
or
being,
we're no different than he is.
and that's why, and he sees us as that.
Yeah.
That's why when he turns into the dragon and stuff, and like he kind of saves us to like get out of there because he sees us as an adventure.
Yeah.
And which dialogue option I picked was like the shut the fuck up one, where it was like shut up, that ends here. That was the one that I picked, is because in that moment I wanted to, well, first of all, I wanted to fight him, and I did because I didn't know if I just wanted to fight him, but also I get very immersed in these games. But like I was just like, I respect you as who you are, but I'm the warrior of light, and if I agree with you here, I feel like there's a big part of me that gets lost. Even though I know that that's your way, and I don't reject the way that you did it, I have to win to prove to myself that this was the right adventure for me. So that's why I picked shut up, I'm gonna fight you.
You're such a pro tag.
I am. I'm the warrior of
I
light.
know, but I'm just saying that's such like you're so like, yeah.
How about you, Bill? What did you pick?
I agreed with him
You I mean,
because
it's a good
I don't
choice.
see myself like, sure, I'm the warrior of light and everything, but I think the true hero was someone like Ardbert, and I'm just a replacement. Like, I'm not perfect, and I
Mhm.
know that. And sure, like, of course, I'm seen as like this hero that saved Erosia and everything, like wherever you go. But at the same time, I'm full of faults too.
Mhm.
And we put ourselves into really dangerous and reckless situations. We get our friends into very reckless and dangerous situations. Like, we're actually not that good of a person when it comes to things. Like, we do kill a lot of people. We put so many people in harm's way, and like, I don't see myself as like, I don't think we're that good of a person.
Mm.
And so, yeah, I think there is a part of me that does go out and puts ourselves in this situation because we are looking for something, just like Xenos was.
I think, yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. I
that's
agree.
that's why I agreed with him because it's like you're right. I think I do have a little bit of that like almost darkness in us that Xenos had and that greed.
Yeah, and I think that's the point, right?
Yeah,
Is that the warrior of light is not, and it kind of like reflects the whole Shadowbringers thing, where it's like we actually aren't we're the warrior of darkness.
yeah,
Like it fucking like all just comes together in that whole thing, and I was like, how do they do that? Like it was like I didn't even notice. Of all people, you weren't even in Shadowbringers,
yeah,
like this guy, and then yeah, and that's why we went through all that. That's why we were the warrior of light, we were the warrior of darkness. And all this time, Xenos was just like, "Yeah, I'm here to destruct stuff." And I was thinking, like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, we already beat him, like in the expansion before, but he's there to prove that you're the same thing. We just fill the different types of voids, and I've seen different. I live a different type of warrior life, and I was like, holy crap! The other expansions, that's what we were doing. We were seeing the different types of how to be the protagonist
yeah.
in that sense. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Let's fucking fight. Like I was like, that's cool, but I can't agree with なんだろう.
You just wanted to fight him.
なんか, I felt like we needed to.
Yeah, I wanted to too.
I
I
think
wanted to kick his ass,
I
but
feel like we needed to because I
I mean,
couldn't
sit in that chapter.
I couldn't reject it. And then I think the dialogue after that, I believe, was he says like, "Oh yes, you're finally gonna fight me," kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like he's like ready. And I was like, yeah, that's the best situation because that's all he wants, right?
yeah. He
He
just wants to fight.
he just wants to fight because he sees this as an adventure. And I was coming to terms with everything that he was saying. I get it.
I mean,
Finally understand. Let's fight.
honestly though, I wish we had a fourth option where we could just walk away.
Just walk away.
Yeah. Because at the same time, like I did agree with him, but at the same time, I also didn't want to give him the satisfaction of fighting me.
Hmm.
Of all the shit and trouble he put us through, I didn't want to give him that.
It's the resolve because at this whole time, it's kind of like all he wants to do is this is turning into a Final Fantasy 14 podcast, but he has this moment through this whole since he was introduced in Stormblood. It
Hmm.
was just kind of like this whole thing about like, I want to fight you. I want to fight you. And he always says, you're
Yeah,
not ready. You're not ready.
I know.
You're not
And once
ready.
I'm finally ready, I wanted to say, no, I'm not going to fight you.
Why?
Because I wanted to deny him that satisfaction.
You hate him so
I
much.
do, yeah. I really wanted him to die.
I thought he was like, at that point, when he said that and
Uh-huh.
we get to fight him, I was like, this is like fighting like Aniki level of like rival. Like, this is the guy that I'm finally to his level of understanding through my experiences of everything that we've done so far. It's time. This is the showdown. Like, this is it. I get it. Now I can actually beat you. And you will die or you will go away being happy with that. And that's fine. みたいな感じだった for me.
Yeah, I didn't want to give him that happiness. But yeah.
Did you cry? I think the only time I cried was I got really emotional. I got really emotional with Emmett Selk.
Yeah, me too. It's
Um,
that last part where he starts talking about how, well, you haven't done this, you haven't done this
that was
part. That farewell with him
was
when he
yeah.
finally when he finally comes to terms or he admits that we did see him in the future and he kind of admits that that's the path that he went down because he was in denial for a lot of it.
Yeah,
But
for
when he
sure.
gets to that point where it's like, okay,
He comes to save us, right?
yeah, he saves us, and then he realize like he kind of admits like, okay, you were telling the truth. But yeah, but have you done all these things that I have done? And that's when I got really emotional.
When he kind of goes, he like, cause he's like, this is our final goodbye. Like I can come to terms with it,
Yeah.
and everyone's crying,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, "Don't go, like you're a good guy," blah blah
Yeah.
blah,
Yeah.
and then he has that Emmett Salt moment where he flexes on you one
Yeah.
last time, and he goes, "Well, you're all sad, you feel like this is all over, but like, have you done this? Have you done this? I have.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
better go fucking catch up with me." And then
Yeah.
that's his farewell. Like, it's just kind of like he kept that character, and
And that
that's
made me cry.
yeah. That was like when I was like,
Yeah.
Aniki, oh my god, kind of thing for sure. Definitely deserves to be and is the number one
Number
most
one
favorite
favorite
character
character in Final
voted.
Fantasy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the number one voted favorite character, right, in Final Fantasy.
Hmm.
He's
He's
he's one of
he
the coolest
topped. Yeah,
characters.
he topped Cloud, which is a huge deal.
Yeah, especially here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So,
I don't remember which music track I liked. I'll have to look it up.
mm,
I don't remember. I can't think of it at the top of my head. But I remember there was one track I really did like. So I'll have to look it up and then
mine's
I'll let you
the
guys know.
mine's that acoustic. My favorite track is not even like a raid track or anything like that.
Isn't it just the town?
It's the town one with the
Music? Yeah.
acoustic guitar. Is my favorite song. Like I had
I
that
forgot
on
which
loop.
town. But
It's it's the main one.
is it Old Charlian?
Old Charlian. There's two tracks in Old Charlian. When you first get there, and then it's like dun 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 dun. That one. If you can just you'll know. The people that know. Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Bow, bow, bow. Boo, doo, 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 doo. Good job, Soken. Okay, next question is from so this is the part where the spoiler ends, Blue. So
Yes.
we'll put a little preface at the beginning that it ends here. Okay?
Okay.
So, boom. Now they know that I refreshed. All right. Next question comes from Floating Yogurt. Asks, what's your red flag before dating each other?
Like
Before dating each other?
what do you mean? Like what we were looking out for?
Or I
Or
thought it was
like
gonna be dating someone.
yeah,
each
dating
other?
someone.
Dating each other.
I don't know if I necessarily like there were no red flags because I feel like if there were red flags, then we wouldn't be dating.
Yeah, I don't.
But if you mean like in general, like what are some things that like are like, makes me not interested?
I have one.
What?
I don't like people that just talk about. If a red flag for me is somebody that's like, if we don't know each other yet and we're still kind of like on a date and it's like a conversation thing. If they're just putting themselves down a lot, I don't. That's like, it's a waste of time to me because
Like fishing for compliments almost?
no, I don't even care about that. Like, because I think a lot of people, it's like a confidence thing. But like that on a date, that's not what I want to talk about.
Mm.
Like, there's so many other things that I want to know about you, except for the things that you think you suck at or something like that. Like, it's not, and it's just I don't like people that are like, and it's not about like being negative. I guess it is, but like specifically putting themselves down a lot as a topic of conversation really turns me off. I think. Like, if they had like a problem and they were talking to me about it, that's fine. But if it's just like this one-sided, like, I'm bad at this, I suck at this, I didn't. It's like that's not. What are you? What do I do with that information? Like, I don't know you yet. Like, I don't. Let me figure that out on my own, and then, maybe it's not so bad. But it's like, yeah. How about you?
One of mine would be like I don't like people who talk shit about their exes.
Oh yeah.
Like I get it. Like sometimes you have bad relationships and it's okay to be like, I didn't have a good like ex and I broke up because of this and this and this and this and this. It's fine. But if you talk about every single one of your exes in a bad light where they did this wrong, they did this wrong,
Oh, that's gross.
then yeah, it gives me this idea of like, oh, okay, so you don't admit any responsibilities for any of your past relationships and you're blaming the other person every single time. Like I feel like that's going to be a big issue because you'll probably start blaming me for everything once we start dating.
Mm.
Like you won't admit wrong for things.
Another thing, I agree with that. I've never been, thankfully, I've never been in a situation where that was like a thing. So
Yeah.
that never came up, but I would not like that either. Another thing that is a red flag to me is people that have a bunch of red flag like a checklist in their head,
Oh, yeah.
and they're waiting for you to cross it.
Yeah.
There's sometimes like it's become such a like cliche almost thing to have this checklist. I don't have a like I'm you asked there was a question that's been asked and I thought about it, but if somebody was putting themselves down a lot to a certain point, I probably won't even notice. Like it would just be like a normal topic of conversation. It's like, I'm really bad at this, but and I wouldn't really think about it. But if somebody is caught up into this whole red flag thing and I can see that, that is a turnoff too. Where
Yeah.
they're coming with a checklist, seeing it's like these like those like laser security things from like Resident Evil 1. And I'm like just trying to like
Yeah.
if I feel like I have to like think about what I have to say, and if I say something wrong, it's like your personality is wrong. Like
Yeah.
it's just if I can tell somebody has a red flag list and it's really apparent,
Or if someone has any kind of list at all.
yeah, it's definitely
Like,
a turn.
if they want some kind of, like, certain expectations from you, then it's like, ugh.
Yeah,
Oh.
there it is. Thank you for that question. Casey asks, how do you deal with this being adult thing? Dealing with work life, leaving it at the door versus having a quality personal life. Super good question. We figured it out by making a schedule. That's kind of it really helped
Mhm.
to map everything out. It's like in kind of like if I saw this schedule a year ago, I would be like, you're a maniac to like break everything down by every hour. But just to give it a shot and just live by it and organizing it. And then you loosen it up and see like this works, this doesn't, and whatnot. But
Yeah.
damn, man, organizing it really helps because you allocate. You don't allocate time by allocating it in the right place. You put it in a little like puzzle piece instead of just this mishmash of puzzle pieces that like, what do I do? Maybe okay, you look through this stuff. Okay, I'll do this right now. Oh wait, but this one, like, if you can actually put it into place, it actually fits in to 7 days.
And
Or
I think for me, it's like, yeah, because with the schedule, we can kind of consolidate when's what. So, like, for me, like, if it's like this figurative door when stream ends that you're talking about, it's more like, because I stream Monday to Wednesday, right? And then I have Thursday off, and then Friday, Saturday. So basically, what we've done for that is so Monday morning, first I'll work stream stuff until Thursday. And then, of course, in the Thursday morning, we would, film podcast stuff, or we would do like videos and stuff like that. And I think that would be considered like stream stuff, right? So I would, but then I know that around like maybe after lunchtime, that's when like this figurative like free time starts. So basically, I've been able to shift my mind into okay, Monday through to Thursday at noon or lunchtime. That's my work. I'm just putting it in quotation marks because it's not really, it's not like a 9 to 5 that you guys go through. So it's like, this figurative work that I do. And then from the second half of Thursday, I'll have that day when I can kind of relax and do anything I want, like in terms of like hobbies or watching movies or playing games and whatnot. So I think that helps me with a switch, like on off switch.
mhm,
Hmm. So
scheduling.
scheduling, yeah, that
It was
helps.
people have said, do it, and we've been ignoring that advice, and we finally did it, and it's really changing the way I think mentally too. Mentally, it's just nice.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's definitely it helps with like the ADHD mind in my head. It really does. Panda asks anything you haven't eaten yet, but you really want to try durian. Still haven't tried durian.
Durian, yeah.
Had a durian soda, almost threw up, but I want to try the actual fruit. Um,
I like the durian soda, so I wanna try durian.
yeah, durian.
Yeah.
Stinky tofu, as they
Oh,
say.
yeah, yeah. I
I
wanna
want to
try
try
that too.
that. Yudofu da, ne? It's
Yeah.
called, and apparently it's like crazy smelly,
Mhm.
but I don't think I could do like. I just want to try it out, but yeah, I want to try those like things that have strong smells that I'm not maybe not like surströmming level stuff, but like um, I think that's what they're called, right? Those the sardines,
Yeah.
but um, maybe like I want to try something that has a very unusual smell for me. I think that's something that I would try. So you say durian too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to try durian.
So yeah, thank you guys again for these questions. This month was a very interesting podcast for us. Big spoiler part, so we'll put that in the very beginning, just alerting people. But thank you guys so much for joining another month of the So podcast, the Stream On Streaming On podcast. Hopefully, we'll make it alive, and we'll be here next month talking about how stuff happened.
We should be fine.
Hopefully. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
Anu just went to a health checkup. His liver numbers are a little higher, but he's pretty much okay. So Anu's also healthy too. So
Yeah.
we'll see you guys next month
We'll
on
see you
the
next month.
podcast. Take care,
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye bye.